I welcome you to part 7 of the Sower Sows the Word series here. Now, with Jesus talking about the good soil in Luke 8:15, which produces on the Word of God, we read this unusual statement from him, but that on the good ground are they, which in an honest and good noble heart, having heard the word, keep it, and bring forth fruit with patience. I say this seems a little bit unusual, or it sounds kind of funny the way Jesus stated this, but he alludes to a fact, it must be a fact, of course, that in some way the soils representing people not producing on the word, that their hearts were not truly honest or noble. Out of a good and noble heart, Jesus says, they produce, or on the word of God, they believe and receive what they planted for. If we're reading that correctly, I believe it's safe to say what he's saying, there's really no excuse not to. Now, I know this is a tough pill to swallow, but if we're wise, I'd suggest it's best to step up to the plate and accept it. With us always failing, say, to produce on the Word of God, we need to look at ourselves in the mirror. Or there's another saying in culture, we need to be brutally honest with ourselves. I believe that's what Jesus was saying. We need to be brutally honest with ourselves and come to the place of admitting what we clearly should and understand, that if I'm not producing on the Word of God, I need to stop blaming Him, that it's somehow His fault. And also that we don't default to a position all the time that, well, God's in control. You know, that kind of lets people off the hook in the way that they think. But Jesus is saying and putting across, everything has been made available for a Christian's life to be successful and victorious. Now, if we flopped around in defeat at times, and I believe all of us have, and none of us have been perfect, of course, well, fair enough, but we need to get back up if we've fallen and be non-productive. And as they say, go back to the drawing board and piece together just where we went amiss. God is still there to lift us up, encourage us, and put our feet on a solid, firm footing again. Always remember that God does His part. He makes the seed of His word grow and produce. That's if the person is carrying out their part, putting the word of God in them in abundance, and watering the seed and keeping the weeds out. Remember the standard of things like Psalm chapter 1, which says, if you want to become like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season, you must comply with one who meditates on the word day and night. Day and night meditation on the word, which is a part of the same passage. Let's not read that and say, well, I'm just going to do a workaround. No, there's no such thing as a workaround. One will just come back around to, say, defeat or fruitlessness again and again. So Jesus is saying, be honest with yourselves, okay? Some will say in their difficult situation, where's God? But just know this, that He may be saying to us, where are you? Are we trying to live out our Christian life on a promise box mentality? We'll give the world hours of our time each day, might be to news, might be to sports, might be to watching the latest movie, or other things that distract us. Take your pick. There's thousands of things which try to get our attention. We give those things hours of our time a day, but God, 5 minutes tops? How about we flip that around and give the world the 5-minute deal? Let me say that again. How about we flip that around and give the world the 5-minute deal? Give God the number of hours. Am I saying you can't ever watch a film or sports event or the other? No, but be ever conscious of who and what is getting the greatest bulk of your time. Is it the world and the lust of other things, or do we give that quality time to God, fellowshipping with Him and His Word? We'll end part 7 right here, and we'll see you ahead in part 8 for our final part in this series, The Sower Sows the Word. God bless.